Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So, a couple days ago, word broke, and I say broke as in broke the internet. Whereas we finally got the confirmation that Zack Snyder's Justice League was gonna be coming to HBO Max in 2021. If you'd ever been following this news, following this information, you knew damn well it was coming. There was so much smoke for there to not be any fire, as I was saying, for a long period of time. But what really caught my eye, what really caught my attention, were two people on YouTube that were absolutely willing to die on the hill of there being no Snyder Cut. And when the news was announced, the amount of backpedaling and attempt to goalpost move and sidestep their own words and their own actions is now just hysterically apparent and one worth absolutely talking about. So I'm going to play for you this little clip that I found on Twitter, trying to justify their opinions on the Snyder Cut. Of course, we're talking about Blandy Andy Signore and Jokey's Corner.
But to be honest here, Andy, it doesn't even seem it doesn't even seem that the real Snyder Cut is ever going to come out. Do you know what I mean? He said there has to be a lot of work done. He said it's going to be in the article. It's going to be something totally different.
Yeah, he's totally changing now, which again proves what were you guys fighting for?
Fuck off.
So if Zack Snyder says it's going to be totally different, what was the purpose of the cut movie?
Yeah. Zack Snyder said it was going to be totally different. So what's the point, right, guys? Hey, fellas, what's the point of the entire Snyder Cut movement if the Snyder Cut is going to be different from what we saw theatrically back in 2017? I don't know. 80 pages worth, perhaps? Because that's what Joss Whedon wrote, and that's what they shot once Zack exited the project in May of 2017 before reshoots began. You absolute dunces. Seriously, guys. This is so terribly transparent that I am shocked that you just cannot take the L on the Snyder Cut. So much so that even Andy, this is true. This is Andy then trying to justify it after talking with Jody when he was on his own stream. I happened to randomly tune in and catch this little tidbit as I was doing dishes and unable to quickly get away from listening to the shrill, terrible voice of Andy Signore. But this is what he actually said. Listen to this and listen to him try to justify not only his attack on the Snyder Cut, his attack on the fans, and everything else in between.
He's right. He's right. Look, we were fighting. It's semantics to a point, but there was an argument. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. The truth is, both of you were right. Everyone was right. Is what we got to come to terms with. A lot of us that you think we were fighting or wrong, we were all right. You were right. Snyder was still behind the scenes working and believing in the cut, so that was accurate. There were people, Warner Bros., who didn't want it. That was accurate. There wasn't a complete cut that needed 20 millions. That was accurate. But there was still a work print assembly that he was saying was a cut. Everybody actually was accurate is what the reality here. So I hope we take the words of Henry Cavill, which says, bring this together. In fact, I want to end on that because that was...
Okay. So everyone was right is what he's trying to say there, which is not true or factual at all. Period. Point blank, full stop. Everyone who followed this with a modicum of credibility or just fundamental understanding of what went on from not only Zack exiting the project in 2017, but everything that happened while they were filming the movie after the release of Batman v Superman in March of 2016, knew that Snyder was tinkering with it, knew that he was wanting to see it come through, and knew that he was always going to want to see it come to fruition. He had always, Momoa talked about it, Ray Fisher talked about it, everyone was talking about it to the point of where Toby Emmerich came to them and said, what are your thoughts on this? Could you guys see bringing this to the table? Could you guys see making Zack Snyder's Justice League a reality? What are your thoughts on this one? This wasn't Warner. This wasn't Zack finally wearing them down and them saying, all right, fine, and giving him a pity meeting. This was Toby Emmerich of Warner's coming to them and saying, what have you got? Let's make this thing work. And so when you've got people, and idiots, I want to say idiots because they are idiots, like Jody's Corner, who is so desperately trying to claim, oh, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, or that's not what we're going to get. It's going to be fundamentally different. Exactly. It's not what we saw in theaters. What we got was Justice League. Everyone knows it. That's pretty accurate. It's a Frankenstein mishmash of two distinctly different, tonally and visually different directors mixing their goo together to give us something to watch. We know this. What we're getting now is Snyder's vision that is going to be a culmination of these characters' journeys so far in the DCEU. This is going to end the arcs that were established all the way back in 2013 with Man of Steel. So we know this. This is what's going into it. So yes, it's going to be fundamentally different. But what happens? What happens when you're that big of a moron, and I mean this like literally, that you can't take the L on the situation and you have to still find a way to fight back? Oh, you do what Andy's doing today. Yes. Putting out a live stream tonight called Reject the Snyder Cult, because that's how he's trying to justify everything. Oh, but the people were just mean to me. The people were just mean to me. They said mean things to me on Twitter. They've said mean things about me on the internet, and I can't handle it, because he can't handle it. Believe me. I know. That's why he and I aren't friends anymore, is because I criticized him over attacking a dude with 100 Twitter followers because that guy said mean things about Andy Signore, and Andy then tried to cancel him. Only when I called him out did he say I wasn't trying to cancel him, and then the amount of gaslighting he tried to throw at me as a result of criticizing his terrible actions resulted in me laughing at him to the point of where he finally blocked me and moved on. I'm telling you, this is what's going on. This is what he has to do. This is what Andy has to do, what Jody has to do, what these guys have to do is they have to find a way to monetize hatred. They do. They have to find a way to monetize hatred because they can't stand that they lost. They can't stand that this is now the reality. That Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is going to be probably a 6-episode miniseries, maybe 4 to 6 episodes, is going to be coming to HBO Max sometime in 2021. And the reason why it's going to take that long is not that he had a cut done right now. Sorry, guys who don't know what the hell's going on, is they want to get the entire team back together. Well, this takes time and coordination. Each project is different. They bring on different people. We are in a global pandemic, which means that not everybody can work from home. Not all of the visual assets can be shared through a Dropbox download. And a lot of people have also moved on to other projects of which they need to finish up and free up their schedule before being able to dive back in on this project to finish it up. So that's where we find ourselves right now, guys. This is where we find ourselves, is in a world, literally in a world where two grown adult men, one of whom is well within his 40s, Signore, I don't know how old Jody is, but he acts like a petulant 12-year-old, cannot for the life of them take the L on something they were so completely wrong on. So instead of saying, hey guys, we're wrong, which Andy started off trying to do, I'll give him credit on that, but when that failed to materialize in a quote unquote win for him, you know, when it failed to get people off of his back for calling out his bad takes, he then is now trying to double down on that by running a live stream. That lives off of you know, donations. Are you against the Snyder Cult? Oh, because he's even on Twitter right now attempting to call people out. Oh, this guy, I don't know, said mean things to me. Block him. Hashtag reject the Snyder Cut. I don't know him. He's an anonymous account on Twitter. Well, then why don't you do what you did to the other guy, Andy? Why don't you run a live stream in front of your 110,000 subs where you find some nobody on Twitter who says something mean to you, and you dive into their past and you call out their past and you make it a big spectacle, so then you can force them, you can bully them into wanting to then come around and talk to you privately, but you're going to keep the video up even though you don't want to cancel them because you want to make sure that it serves as a reminder. You know what that is, guys? You know what that is? That is a sociopath who wants to claim a trophy. And that's where we are right now. Andy's playing the victim, and Jody will also play the victim because they lost. They can't stand to lose. Their tiny male egos won't let them lose. So what they're doing now is they're lashing out in anger because they struck the first blow and they're mad that there's blowback. If you don't recall, Andy and Jody have been anti-Snyder Cut, and it was mostly Jody for a long time because he thinks he has some relevance outside of his corner. No one knows or cares who he is. I mean, really, look at his views. And Andy is trying to get in on the fact that Jody has got a dedicated fan base of people who will give money. So that's the only reason why they're working together. Jody gets money from people by lying to them. Andy is sucking up to Jody by trying to play off that particular victim narrative and everything else in order to gain money. He'll openly admit to doing it for views. He'll openly admit to not caring about what he talks about. And he'll openly admit to all of these other things. These are not good people. These are not good people, and you can tell that by how they respond to the slightest amount of criticism. They buckle, they freak out, and then they try and play the victim when there is countless tweets and videos and live stream segments and everything else of them being 100% fundamentally wrong. They don't get it, they can't get it, and their little pea brain egos, the little baby egos, won't let them even remotely understand why people are giving them the crap that they're giving them. Don't give them any attention. They're not really worth it. I shouldn't even be making this video, I'll fully admit. But I'll tell you guys, if I'm wrong on something like that, I will take the freaking L. All right, I'll be fair. A long time ago, I was like, look, I don't think the Snyder Cut's ever going to come out. I want it to come out, but I don't think it's ever going to come out. I said that. I was wrong. I'm glad it came out, but I still fought for its release, even though I was like, realistically, I don't know if it's ever going to come out. Who knows? But we got lucky because AT&T stepped in, and now they're talking about the Ayer cut, which I'm going to do a video on that one too. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, Blandy Andy, Jokey's Corner, completely ridiculous, completely stupid, and not worth your time because they're playing you, and worse off, they're playing their audience. They're lying to their audience, and they're not being honest. They're not saying we got this wrong, we'll try to do better. It's we weren't wrong, as I showed you the clip. Everyone was right. There's no real Snyder Cut, but we're going to go after the Snyder cult that doesn't exist and try to find a way to profit and monetize on it. There we go. I mean, again, as much as I criticize the fandom menace, they are far more credible in their actions than people like Andy Signore. And you wonder why no one back in Hollywood wants to work with the guy again. All I'm saying on that one. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. If you made it this far, please type Blandy Andy into the comment box because I want to know. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Support the channel through Patreon. Support the channel through Patreon. Yo, you got $1. Support the channel through Patreon. Yeah, man. Just, yo, let me throw down some fresh, fat beats to pimp the Patreon. Yeah. What's up, dog? Pimp it. Yeah, that's right.